You know, traveling is all about picking up little souvenirs, right? A piece of the place you visited to take back home. When I was in Cairo, wandering through the Khan El Khalili Bazaar, I found this little stall tucked away in a dusty corner. The old man running it had all sorts of trinkets. But what caught my eye were these small, hand-shaped amulets. Ekareteim. Hands of Rest. They were cheap, beautifully carved from some dark stone, and felt strangely cool to the touch. I bought one, naturally. As the vendor wrapped it in a piece of old cloth, he looked me dead in the eye and said, "A beautiful charm. It will bring you peace. But heed my warning. Never, ever wear it while you sleep." I just chuckled, thinking it was part of the sales pitch. Some old world folklore to make the tourist experience more authentic. I thanked him, paid, and went on my way, the cool stone feeling heavy in my pocket. That night, back in my hotel room, I was admiring the amulet. The carving was intricate, with tiny symbols etched into the palm. I completely forgot the old man's warning. I mean, it was just a story, right? So I slipped the cord around my wrist and drifted off to sleep. The last thing I remember was the comforting coolness of the stone against my skin. Then I woke up, or at least, I think I did. My eyes were open, but I couldn't move. Not a finger, not a toe. Total sleep paralysis. Panic started to bubble up in my chest. I was trying to scream, but no sound came out. The room was pitch black, but I could feel something. Something ice cold was wrapped around my wrist, gripping it so tightly it felt like my bones were about to shatter. It wasn't the smooth stone of the amulet. It felt like fingers. 5 of them. Bony and freezing. I struggled against the grip, against the paralysis, my heart hammering against my ribs. I could feel my own breath catching in my throat. The pressure on my wrist was unbearable, a burning cold that seemed to seep right into my soul. I squeezed my eyes shut, wishing, praying for it to end. And then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. I could move again. I gasped for air, sitting bolt upright in bed, drenched in a cold sweat. My first instinct was to check my wrist. The amulet, the hand of Resk, was gone. The cord was snapped, lying on the sheets beside me. But that's not what made my blood run cold. There, burned into my skin, were 5 distinct fingerprints. They were jet black, like soot, stark against my pale skin. The mark of that icy, impossible hand from the darkness. I've never been able to get them off. They're a permanent reminder of that night in Cairo. I often wonder what would have happened if I hadn't woken up. Have you ever touched something you shouldn't have? Let us know, and maybe subscribe before you find your own forbidden souvenir. Thanks for watching.